Hey everybody, it's
What's
Trash
going
Talk
on?
again,
Yep.
and again every week. We're right here, 8 a.m. every Tuesday morning. And by the way, I guess we should mention that you can catch Brandon and I in our other podcasts several times a week. I have a show that's on Wednesdays and another one on
Yep.
Thursdays.
Yep.
Yours launch on usually
When
Wednesdays.
Wednesday, yeah, I drop my episodes Wednesday morning at 4 a.m., by the way. That's been the magic number for me. I catch, well, what I've noticed is I've catch a lot of West Coast. No, who do I catch?
At 4 o'clock in the morning, it's probably East Coast.
East Coast. Sorry, I can't figure out my coast right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a West Coast rapper with an East Coast vibe. Um, so yeah, I catch a lot of the East Coast people. Yeah, because I was looking at my demographics, and then it follows by my West Coast. I also catch my two people that listen to me in Ireland. Shout out to Paul. I catch them very early. So yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
but
that's
no,
six, that's
4
six
a.m. Yeah.
hours difference over
I
there.
know. Yeah. Well, now I got some Chinese, I got representation in China now. Yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah. So they listen to me. Although this could be a fun topic later. We won't go there. Uh, some of them, some of the platforms that they would listen, it's controlled. So a lot of times it's delayed because they have to approve my pod. It's crazy, right? But anyway, yeah, no, Life of an Average Joe. It's been great. I'm about to do a new, actually, probably by the time this episode drops, I'll be doing my shows on StreamYard, which is just I'm excited about it. My our good old friend, my good old buddy Nick Luck, who's been on the show, just designed a new logo for me that I
Oh,
absolutely love.
phenomenal illustrator.
Yeah, he got the vibe too. Like I had a guy down in Puerto Rico that I met on Twitter or X, and he just out of nowhere sent me a logo for free and was like, "Man, I just think that this is your vibe." And it's an awesome logo, and I'm use it sometimes. I don't want to use it permanently, but I like it and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Anybody who takes the time to do something like that's amazing. And since I can't draw, but Nick, I told him, I said, and I paid him for it. I said, I want to commission you to do something for me. You know, it might not be my vision of the logo I would have gone for, but I want you to catch the vibe of the podcast. And he did. And I appreciate it. And it's awesome.
I'm
Yeah, I
looking
like
forward to
it.
it.
It totally works. He gave me a couple different options so that I can get the stickers out for it. But yeah, anyway, not to just talk about the life of an average Joe. We are everywhere. And, you know, you always interview some great, interesting people across, God, different topics for years, man, on some wilds, everything from authors to illustrators to musicians to activists, or just people with interesting stories. And then, of course, you guys have your opposite Sax's show that I usually miss when it airs, but I usually go back and catch it. And that's fun. I think that's a cool thing that I wasn't sure how long that was going to take. I wasn't sure if it was going to last. It's hard to do
Yeah.
these shows.
It took me almost 2 years to talk Lauren into doing that show, and now she's really gotten into it, and she even does a bit of research to come up with things for us to talk about. It's a lot
It's
of fun.
fun. It's fun. And you know what the thing is, guys, with these shows, it's just an extension of Stuart and I. Like it's not like, yeah, they are different. I will say this. My Life of an Average Joe podcast is pretty different than what we do on Trash Talk, but also in a sense it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And same thing with your shows. Like it's just an extension. So it's really kind of cool to see that. And we have our own little monopoly here.
And if you follow, folks, if you follow TikTok and all, there are a lot of, I mean, Brandon also does a lot of just little short vignettes and everything that he does from the front seat of his car
Yeah, I do.
and drops little tidbits there about what's going on during his day. And they're always very, very entertaining. And
Yeah.
in this world we live in, it's great to get a breakaway and to enjoy some of those podcasts.
And the people that we've met, I mean,
Oh
we haven't had
yes.
anybody on the show in a while. We probably should get back to that. It's always a scheduling thing. It's hard enough to get two people on the same page, let alone a third. But the people that we have met that we've been fans of to follow their shows or their platforms
Right.
that turned into outside of the shows like Travis Patton Sr., who I just love. He's such a cool guy, such a cool show, and great advice. I love that he will drop little tidbits on, hey guys, check this out. But more importantly, forget that side of it. He's just a cool person. And we've met so many of them. It's, Nick Luck. We talked about that. Like these are all people we met through our platforms that have now become part of the inner circle. So it's great. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have had, gosh, my someone you should know is in its 10th year now.
Unbelievable.
500 episodes I've had.
Holy shnikes.
And one thing is I have had a lot of people who have authored books.
Yes.
Some educational books, some very harrowing stories from the military or from personal tragedies and everything.
Sure.
And what it's done, I have built a library because I have gotten the books from a lot of the people that have been on my show and everything, and I enjoy reading those books as a follow-up to our conversations.
I think that's awesome. Yeah, I've done and similar things where I've somebody has had a book and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah,
I'm doing a podcast. I think it's this weekend. This guy I met over in England. Well, I didn't meet him, but he listens to the show, and he reached out to me on Instagram and said, "Hey, I'm looking for somebody to do." He's a big Star Wars fan, so his show is all Star Wars. He even gets nerdier than I get, and I'm pretty dorky.
yeah.
And his wealth of knowledge with some of these Star Wars characters goes beyond me. I'll be honest. But he wants to do a show on a specific Star Wars movie that didn't get a lot of love. And I'm like, I'm in. Well, so we're recording that show, but now he's coming on my show to talk about a Star Wars thing. And then now he's just a new dad. He just had a baby, him and his wife, first kid. So
Cool.
now we're sitting there talking about dad stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that one thing kind of leads to another.
It's great. It's
Um,
great.
and I have found, in fact, you mentioned Travis Patton. Very often, I he watches my shows and I watch his
Hmm.
shows, and he has also invited some guests for his shows that I have had on
Yes.
mine, and vice
Yes.
versa, because these are people that are important and have the expertise in a variety of different backgrounds. Most
Uh,
recently, I did my first two-part show. Never have had a follow-up show back to back and all.
sure.
But Gary Pacelli is a fellow who
Hmm.
jumped out of an airplane, and when his parachute opened, it snapped his neck and
God.
left him lifeless. He could only move his head at that point,
Oh my
and he's
God.
dropping 34,000 feet in the air, and he knew that he was going to meet his end.
Hmm.
And one thing led to another. The breezes caught him, and he ended up hitting a hurricane fence and all that broke his fall. And he lived through this.
Jesus.
And we talked about so much in the first show that I invited him back, and he told the story of his rehabilitation. And 2 years after falling out of an airplane and not being able to use your arms and legs upon landing, the guy is jumping out of airplanes again.
Oh, first off, unreal. Second off, I ain't jumping out no airplane.
Yeah.
I already did it once. I'm out.
Well, that's it. And I said to him point blank, I said, "Are you nuts?
Yes,
Wasn't
he
the
is.
wasn't the image of you falling to your death enough to
God.
say, I think I'm going to pick up a new sport that's maybe a little more grounded?"
I could understand that from a perspective if you're younger. If
Yeah.
I didn't have Luke, I'd probably be doing a lot of things I shouldn't be doing. But all I need is somebody to tell me, like a doctor, to be like, "Hey, Brandon, don't do this anymore." And I'm like, "Cool, I'm out. No problem."
Well, but this guy was also a military veteran, and he was also spent his career in law enforcement.
I get it. Yeah. So
So,
there is a little bit of nuts there.
that's right. You're labeled as crazy right from the get-go. Yeah. But
Wow.
that's what makes podcasting and what we do on a regular basis so interesting, because not every show that I've done has been as unusual and different
Oh,
and
no.
as exciting about that.
No,
But
no. And you know what's the other interesting thing is not every show is a winner. Like, um, I've had shows that I've recorded that I know were dog trash. And like, not from the sound perspective, like I didn't like it. Now sometimes you get humble or like blessed and everybody else likes it, and
that
it works out.
that's
And
the
then
interesting thing, that every once in a while you do a show that you said, that was a C minus and
yeah,
everything, but people comment on it, and man, that was a great show. I didn't know about this
I
and I didn't
agree.
know about that.
I got a message from this girl I know back in South Lyon, in Michigan, and she messaged me on one of the stupid apps, probably Facebook, maybe TikTok, I don't know. And she's, listens to the show or whatever. And it was an episode I did, and I thought the story was good. It was about a 40-minute episode. I just didn't feel it. I don't know why. I wasn't into it. And she's like, "Oh my God, this might have been my favorite episode." And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, it'll throw you for a loop that way.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then you got other episodes you prep for, you plan, you promote right. All the wheels are moving, all the stars are aligned, and then the episode just kind of fizzles out. I've got an episode I did that was a phenomenal story, and I'm still pushing it from like a month ago, about me meeting Michelle Branch and having like a moment with her, thinking that I could actually like probably date this chick, and I thought it was a great episode, and have looked at the statistics, and I'm like is falling flat. No, but like people have listened to it, but I really thought this was going to be but I've done an episode about, random stuff. Like I did an episode, I called it Cleaning Out My Closet, and it was just all these random ideas I had in my head for topics, but they weren't enough to do an episode.
Yeah.
So I just kind of crammed them in. Man, I thought it was just going to be a throwaway. That thing blew up.
Like short stories. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
But
know. What do I know?
but when you look back 20 years before podcasting really became a thing, these were stories that people shared one on one over the phone,
Yes.
whatever. And then when I first started in the business, or back in the business, I should say, it was a radio show. I had a
Yep.
guest come into the studio, and we would sit and talk, and it was an audio recording.
Yep.
uh, Spotify started out that way, where you would listen to the show. Then all of a sudden, the introduction of cameras into the studios, and we
Yes.
and it turned into this podcasting.
100%. And video podcasting is grown in the last 2 years, not even to mention, but I've looked at statistics, and typically speaking, the video podcasting is better than the sound. Now, sometimes because the thing is, you still have the option. You don't have to watch the person. You don't have to. You could literally sit there and play our show on Spotify in the car and listen. The video's there. Same
Right.
thing with mine. The video's there because I'm doing a lot more videos now, but I have noticed the video clips, the video YouTube stuff, the video, it's for me, it's grown a lot. And even on my website, which I probably should go up there and update the logo now. Um, the video aspect of it is gotten way better because now I have it where any videos I post on YouTube go directly to my website as well. So like I do all those three, and of course YouTube upped it to where you can do 3-minute
Right.
shorts. So my movie reviews, my clips, they all go to my website. So now I've got this giant library of video on the website, and I'm noticing that people are going there a lot more. So, it's interesting to see the trends. But yeah, when it first started, it was all audio.
Yeah, it was all audio, and sometimes you would go in person to a presentation, of with a PowerPoint presentation. Somebody was narrating, doing a PowerPoint presentation up on a screen.
Yeah.
And that's really the marriage of radio audio and in-person PowerPoint came together and became podcasting. And a lot of people
Yeah.
will do that. There are people that do podcasts for a specific thing. It might be electrical engineering podcasts
Oh,
that,
there's
that just deal with that.
fishing
The real
topics there.
estate market has just exploded where people can take virtual tours of homes that on the
Yeah.
other side of the country to look instead of having to go and meet with a realtor and go place to place. You can do so much via podcasting and through video presentations now.
When I was moving, I did a couple of video tours. They're free. So instead of driving, and they were real video tours. Like it wasn't just here's your diagram. You're
Right.
like zooming in and I'm looking and you could see the faults or you know, maybe some of the things you didn't like or, you know, and all that. And that was kind of cool. It was kind of cool. It was exciting. Because I got to be honest with you, going to look at a bunch of places absolutely sucks. It's sometimes it's fun, but inevitably you're wasting mileage and days and you're doing it on a day off and you've looked at four places because it's time consuming, you know?
Sure.
So yeah, being able to do that was really cool. I did that at the current place I'm in. I did a video one, and then finally I dropped Luke off at school, and then I went into the one that was available. I was like, "Can I look at it now?" Because I was right there by it,
Right.
and then I was like, "Okay, well, the video proved that this is exactly what it is," you know?
The drones have also become a big part of the real estate market and all people.
Especially in New Jersey.
Yep. What? Yeah. Have I got a property to show you? You want to see it? And don't worry about the mound of dirt that's in the backyard over there. But, but no, it's become a fascinating. I guess I can use the word industry because
Mhm.
now people such as yourself and all, there's a few bucks to be made by doing this stuff too.
Yeah,
As
as
long
long
as you
as
manage it
yeah,
properly.
you can do it. And I think had I got on, 10 years ago and really got into it, I'd probably be in a different spot now. Not like millionaire. I just mean like on a level of where I want it to be.
Right.
I'm also not looking to quit my day job and completely sink everything I have into this. Number one, that's insane for me. Number two, sure, maybe down the road, like you never know. Like if it when Luke's older and self-sustainable, if I feel like cutting back and sinking more, sure. But for me, if I can sit there and pay a bill, that's cool. If I can have extra money, income to just waste, like, hey, I got 30 bucks today from my TikTok videos. Awesome. Cool. Guess what? That's could be some gas, could be me
Right.
and Luke go out to dinner. What I like to do is usually I sink some of it back into the show so I can pay people like Nick. But the other time, a lot of it, man, I just put it away for vacation or Christmas. Every now and then it comes in like we're going to a concert in April. I'm going to use the money that I got from my show to pay for parking, pay for concessions, t-shirts, so it doesn't interfere with my bill money. I'm a
Yeah.
happy man,
Yeah, I mean, we even did a show about that, and people look at that as a side hustle too.
It is, yeah.
Or when you retire like me, now that has become my new profession. I'm not
Absolutely.
making much off of it at all and all, but just for the love of it and the interaction
Absolutely.
um, to do it. It
And
it
it is a hustle. It is a hustle. I can tell you right now, the TikTok in particular is there's a lot of great opportunities and minus the branded stuff, like where I had an opportunity, like I did an Amazon gig for a while on TikTok, where I got paid. I probably only made like 30, 40 bucks off it.
yeah,
TikTok, as far as what they've paid me, now there are others out there, don't get me wrong, that are making a lot of money, but for what they've paid me and what I had to do to get it, yeah, I mean, now Facebook used to be great. Meta used to be great. Zuckerberg sucks. So obviously he killed that. But I was making like, we're talking 300, 400 a week, not a week, a month from Facebook before he killed all that. Now I'm making in a month, I'll be lucky if I make 20 bucks.
Yeah.
You know. So
But
so between all of them, though, you take the podcast,
yeah.
you take Meta, TikTok. Now you're looking at, oh, there's a couple $100 because I haven't had a sponsor on my podcast since God knows when. So you got a couple $100 on there,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with that. That's all I need. But it's crazy. There's opportunities are there. I just got an invite to be part of another TikTok thing with movies.
Oh, cool.
So
Yeah. You've been doing movie reviews for a
yeah,
long, long time.
that's been my TikTok money in the bank.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I used to write the articles for a company forever, and then that got me into it. That's been my money in the bank. That's and so I on my TikTok, that's typically what I focus on because it works and I like it and it's different than my podcast and all that. But the other benefit is, man, I get to go see a lot of movies too. I'll get invites to a ton of movies. I'm going to go see Captain America. Or by the time this airs, I've already seen it.
Yeah.
I got an invite to that. Go see Captain America. Cool, no problem.
It's
you
cool
know.
because and one thing I gotta applaud you for is you pull no punches. I mean, you don't go to see every movie and say it was a great movie, you got to see it. You call it as you see it, and
Yeah.
because of that, we all go online and look, and you see Rotten Tomatoes and the with the audience. But when you talk to somebody that really is looking at a film from a production, an aesthetic, an acting viewpoint, you get a better feel for when I walk into that theater and I watch it. I've often said, you know what? Brandon was spot on about the production. And it makes it more interesting to watch the production that way.
I agree. I just saw that. I haven't done a review for it yet, but a couple weeks ago, I saw the Bob Dylan movie with Timothy Chalamet.
Yep.
I forgot his last name. I always say it
Good
wrong.
show.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw it.
I thought he did a great job. And here's the thing, I'm not a Bob Dylan fan, period. But I thought he did a really good job, and I thought it was really cool to see.
And that genre of movies is coming out, and I find it very interesting because we go back to the documentary done for David Bowie,
Oh, yeah. Absolutely
Bob
amazing.
Marley's
That was good.
movie, great movie, and you get to see a life done in a different way. But yeah, I forgot the name of the Dylan movie now, but very worth seeing.
Yep.
There was a thing about Elvis.
Yeah, yeah.
Not about him performing, but it was
Yeah.
from a perspective of Parker, who was his
Yeah.
manager, and it told kind of the other side of the story.
Well, then, and then the flip side of that, there was the Priscilla movie too.
Yeah,
And then I thought that was interesting
yeah,
to see how
yeah.
that came into play.
Uh,
Yeah, so there's a lot, but it's been fun. I like to continue to do this and develop it, like we do. And I think really the biggest thing for me is just the connections, being able to meet people from across the globe. Like I said, I've got so many people that I've been talking to over in China, learning Mandarin on an app. Who would have thought at 46 years old, which by the way is crazy difficult for me. But at 46 years old, sitting there with, now it doesn't hurt that this girl's pretty good looking, but sitting here and she will go live and teach because we're all TikTok refugees. That's what we're called, TikTok refugees. And
I like that.
yeah. And so she'll go over there and teach it. And she'll also tell you, like, because they have different emojis, emoticons over there, what we think one means doesn't. Like, there's a smiling one that a bunch of TikTok refugees were using. She's like, don't use that. That's
It-
a forced smile. Like you're not into what they're saying, but you're just smile. It's almost like a negative.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to learn all that and learn the language. Like they drop stuff. They drop like 666 all the time, and I'm like, I got some Satanism going on in China.
Yep.
Doesn't even mean that. Something completely different. So
Yeah.
it's wild. It's cool to learn. But I wouldn't learn that. I wouldn't know that because I'm lazy and wouldn't take forth the effort until I was forced to do that through people I met. And now I want to communicate with them better. And I want to respect that culture and give it back to them. So it's exciting, man.
Yeah. Well, podcasting is a great outlet. One thing I would encourage is if people that are watching and listening to us have you get the bug and you want to do it, commit to it.
Yeah, you got to
You got to
commit.
do it.
You
It
got to
isn't
commit.
something you say, I'll try it for 3 or 4 months.
No, no,
You
no, no,
know,
no, no.
commit, get yourself a program that you want to do and stick with it and do it. And you can be doing it for 5 or 10 years like we have, and still enjoying every minute of it.
And I will say this, I tell everybody, and I've seen friends who've gotten into podcasts and they've had a decent idea and they fizzle and they're inconsistent. Number one, be consistent. Number two, realize you're not going to blow people's doors off. You're not Joe Rogan.
Right.
Number three, you better have 10 episodes in your head and you better record 10 episodes and make them like in a row. Don't do it week to week because you're going to die. Do 10 episodes in a row so that you can get it out there and promote it and schedule your social media. And
Right.
don't just think that you put it out there, people are going to find it. It's like finding a library book. If you ain't looking for it, they ain't going to find it. Make people look for it. Know your audience. And the other thing I gotta say too is don't just sit around a campfire. Don't just sit around on the patio drinking and thinking you and your friends are funny and you're going to do a podcast because that shelf life is like 30 days. You might be funny, but we don't want to hear it. Get something going for you.
And also use the voice recorder on your telephone because every once in a while an idea comes into your head and the next day you knew it was a good idea, but you can't remember what it was. So take
Sure.
out your phone and just say, idea for a show, and record it, and I'll go back and do it. And like you said, recording in advance gives you that time to kind of relax a little bit and start
Yes.
to research for that next group of shows that you're going to record.
Well, I just told you like a week or two ago how burned out I was. I didn't want to do anything.
Yep.
I really was. Like, true
Yep.
story. Like, that was probably one of the worst feelings I had because I did not care. I did not care. I still did it,
Yep.
but and that's where it's not about motivation. It's discipline to record and then you get your spark back, you
Yep.
know. The other thing I can say too is review. Guys, review people's podcasts. If you like it, follow it, share it, but go on whatever platform you're on
Yeah.
and write a simple review. I say that because those things are gold for us. So if you want to go on the Life of an Average Show podcast and review it right now, you should do it.
Yeah. And it's okay to hit the little emoji buttons, the
Yeah, just
thumbs up or the heart or that, but
yeah,
drop a comment in there.
drop a comment.
And
Drop
just
a
say,
comment.
honestly say what you think about it.
Yeah, I do it sometimes. I'll come on, I'll see Stuart's show, and I'll say a little comment about something. A lot of times I'll say like, "Oh, just saw this, gonna go back and watch later," or
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But because I do the thumbs up, and sometimes I'll hit the thumbs up to remind me, but no, drop a comment, drop a review, and then come back and see us next Tuesday at 8 a.m.
Yep. You got it right there. Take care. Be well. Talk to you next week. Bye.